Okay, so we already know that what generally moves the market is demand and supply. There's a lot of orders, people buying and selling. That's basically what moves the market. So that is why. So that's what exactly we're seeing on the in the order book or the depth of the market. So we'll look at it as we go. So the next term there we had was the expert advisors and indicators. The expert advisors basically are just the computer programs that help automate your trading. So they kind of help you do for things that you don't have to do yourself. So they're kind of robots. Yeah, they're robots that do the trading for you. So you don't actually have to trade with the expert advisors. They automatically just place the orders for you based on certain parameters. A lot of people design the expert advisors, and also it's actually a bunch of codes. So it's not just everybody that has it, but then a lot of people have. There's a lot of developers have developed expert advisors to do a lot of things. You see expert advisors that place trades based on support and resistance. Some place trades based on Fibonacci and a lot of other indicators. So we'll look at some of them, how some of them may be gotten.
Nice car wins the most.
Although they're not all advisable, let me say, because there are those there are expert advisors that there are some expert advisors that will put you in massive losses. So we won't actually advise you to the expert advisors, but then there are times where there are some that are actually very good. Yeah, some may be very expensive, but there are some that are actually very good. So you actually use them. So the indicators too. Well, the indicators here, we're not talking about the built-in indicators. We're not talking about the indicators that come with the trading platform default. We're talking about custom indicators. So there's some indicators that you don't actually see on your platforms, like maybe an indicator that shows you how many pips you are already trading, or an indicator that draws your supports and resistance lines or your trend lines for you. So those are the custom indicators. So we'll look at that also in this. So, okay. All right, so I think this is the last slide here. So we'll go to the charts. All right, so we'll go to the chat. So if you have any questions so far, just drop your question in the comments in the chat box and I would respond to that. All right, so okay, so can you guys see this? Can you guys see my screen now? If you can see my screen, just drop me a message. Just drop a message. So you guys can see my screen, just leave me a message. Let me also know if the audio is clear. Okay, I'm going to assume we can all see the screen then. Okay, so okay, so this is your trading terminal. This is MetaTrader 5 for Vantage FX. So I told you guys that if you want to trade on the if you want to trade on the okay. So I told you guys that if you want to trade on your PC, you don't use a general platform to trade. So this trading terminal now, I got it from Vantage FX, so their official website. So you have to get it from there. So this cannot be used with any other broker. So it has to be used with Vantage. So if you want to trade this, you would have to get it from Vantage FX. So if whichever broker you want to use, get their PC terminal, you have to get it from their website. So it's not like the mobile where there's just one terminal for all the brokers. So each of them, you have to get the terminals from the website. So this is the default. This is how it looks. The moment you open it, this is how it looks. So you have various things to look at. You have the, sorry. Sorry. Okay, so you have the market watch here. So these are your pairs. These are the pairs that you're going to be trading. So most times when you first of all open um, your trading terminal, you don't actually see all the pairs. For some reason, most of the pairs are hidden. So you can just right click, because here, okay, here now we're having just about, say, I don't think they're up to 20 pairs here, but then definitely these are not complete. So you just right click and then you click on show all. It shows you all the pairs that are available. Most times you see much more pairs than you can actually trade. So this kind of just shows you every tradable pair in the market. So you can have, I think you can have up to 500 pairs here, or I don't know, okay, there are about 260 pairs here. So this just shows you a lot of pairs. Most it's not necessarily that you can actually trade all of them, but then it just shows you all the pairs here. So this is your market watch section. So here, these are the symbols. Then this gives you details on your trades, like your initial margin. That's price for this is $100,000. So that's the price for standard loss for this. And you have your bid high, your bid low. These are the highest ask prices, buy and sell prices. And you have your daily change, your volume, highest volume, the deals, your buy orders, and a lot of details there. So most times we don't really care about this, but then there's some on your mobile platform, you notice that you have some pairs that you would in your detail you may see swap. So swap is actually the price you pay your broker for keeping your trade overnight. So there are times where some pairs have a positive swap. So what that means is that if you actually to trade that pair, you would actually be getting profits. That's an additional profit. So more like a commission to your trade if it is still overnight. So instead of having the commissions actually taken back, it will actually be added to your trade if it's failed at night. So sometimes it's important to actually go through the details on so you actually know how okay, what time exactly, because you see more details um, on your mobile, because you'd actually see what time the market opens. You'd see how much you pay for the swap maybe per day, yeah? And then you see the minimum or the maximum lot sizes that you can actually trade. So then okay, here you have quick just quick ways for you to actually just place your trades, then your tick chart here. So this shows you how market is moving. This is the smallest you see the smallest movements in the market. So this actually shows you how market's moving. So for some reason the network is the charts are disconnected. Okay, so then the next you have there is the navigator. That's what we have below there. Let me clear this. So what we have here is this is navigator here. Okay, so it shows you. So these are things you see. So you see your account details here. You see indicators that are available for you to trade. You see expert advisors here, like we talked about. You see some scripts, the markets, signals, and a lot of things. So let me quickly explain what's these things are. Okay, so what you see here first is this is your account details. So whatever account you're trading, you see there. So you don't want to mistakenly place your trade on a demo account. Sorry, you don't want to mistakenly place a trade you wanted to place on your demo account, on your live account. So you see it there. Then if you're not sure where you are trading actually, you could actually look on your your status bar there. You'd see if it's a demo account or a live account. So you should be careful not to trade your live on the demo or your demo on the live. So these indicators. So these are the available indicators. So now these are the default indicators. So you have indicators for trends that actually show you the trends. You have indicators that the oscillators. You have the volume. So this one shows you the amount of volume maybe per time. And then you have the beryllium here and some other indicators. So these are default indicators. So the indicators we're actually going to consider today are custom indicators. So those are indicators that are not from the default, say, MetaTrader terminal. So indicators that some other people might have designed. So you have expert advisors here. So these are the only expert advisors here. Nobody really uses these ones. So then I'll show you again how you may get some other expert advisors and how they may be used. So scripts. So for developers, you may want to design your own indicators from scratch. So you can actually design them on the metatrader platform. So you have the market here. This is where you can buy your expert advisors. You can buy indicators here and some other stuff. So yeah, so basically that's it. So down here, also you have this is just your toolbox. So you have the same details you have on your mobile terminal. You have your balance there, the equity, and your free margin. We've explained most all of these terms actually. So next thing here you have exposure. So here you just see how much risk you're taking and on what pairs exactly you're taking those risks. So this kind of gives you an out overview of how you're trading and then what pairs exactly you're trading. Yeah. So it shows you how what pairs give you your profits or your losses. So it can help you manage your trades. So you have your history here. So you see the history of your trades. Then news. Sometimes your trading platform would send you news. So it just market news or economic news generally. So this is not actually this is not always this news don't always affect the market. In fact, they actually hardly affect the market because the news comes when it's just news. So they may affect the markets long term, but then they're not the type that affect the market immediately. So this is not the economic calendar, but these are just news. These are just events that you should know about. So your mailbox, well, any information coming in from your brokers or the trading the terminal. So you have your calendar here. Okay, so you may see your economic calendar here. You don't get this. I don't think you get. No, you don't get this feature on your mobile platform. I think it's there. Yeah, I think you get this on your mobile platform, but then not necessarily. But then I think with the recent updates, I've not seen it there. But then most times I don't actually use this, so we just use the Forex Factory website for our news events, our economic events. Then so here you have alerts. So maybe you're about to have a margin call, you could get an alert. So you should actually be used to getting that on the mobile terminal. So your mobile terminal, you can actually get alerted when you're about to have a margin call, or when if you have an indicator that actually sends you alerts, maybe sends you an alert or a beep when there is an event about to occur or something. So you could actually see some of them here. Then that's code-based expert journals. So next thing here we're going to look at is the strategy tester. So as a trader, you could have a number of strategies that you want to test and know if they are actually profitable. Okay, so you would actually use the strategy tester. What this does is that it helps you back test your strategy. So it kind of plays your strategy with previous market events. So for instance, now you want to know how a strategy would have fared if, assuming you form a strategy today. So you want to know how it would have actually worked if you had traded with it within the past 1 year or 1 week or 1 month. So you actually put it through the strategy tester, then it actually plays it through the market, and then it gives you a report at the end so that you see how profitable it would have been. So that helps you backtest your strategy so that you don't just start trading the strategy the moment you come up with it. So you actually backtest it, and then so we'll actually look at that in this. Okay, so the depth of markets, that's what we have here. That's this thing here we're seeing here. So this is the depth of the market. So this is mostly important for the day traders, not day traders actually. Let's say scalpers. So people that actually take trades, high speed trades. So people that actually take high speed trades. So you're looking to enter and get out as fast as possible. But then you can't actually check out the price at that point, let's say, because of how fast prices are moving. So you want to be in and out, or you want to be in as fast as possible. So the depth of markets helps you to actually see the amount of the volume traded daily or at a particular time. This is not actually daily. This is within a minute or so. So it shows you the amount of volume traded, and you'd have an idea how you are actually going to be um, placing the trade. So here you'd see you have your volume. So this shows you the amount of orders taken at each of these prices. So it shows you how much, I explained the depth of the market as a tool that shows you the demand and supply for the particular currency or the price. So at each of these prices, it shows you the amount of demand or the supply. That's the volume you're seeing. So the prices you're seeing at the top there are uh, the prices you see at the top there are your bid prices, and then what you see down there, sorry, the prices you see at the top there are the ask prices, and then what you see down there are the bid prices. So if you are buying, you're buying at the bid prices, and you're selling at the ask prices. So this shows you the volume of people trading. So you can see that there is a lot of demand at this zone. So if you want to take a trade based on this, so it means, so what this helps you do is that, okay, you've seen the amount of people trading with these prices, so you can potentially assume that, or based on maybe a little more analysis, which is not necessary because of the speed needed to take this trade. So based on the volume you are seeing, you may want to take an order very fast at that price. That's why you need depth of market. So after you've seen the volume on the particular price, and you've concluded you want to take a trade based on that price. So what you can simply do here is just to click either of these buttons. And what this helps you do is immediately places a pending order at that particular price, so that you don't have to actually take your crosshair to your chart and begin to check what price it is, because the market is moving fast. So that's why I said it's mainly for scalpers or day traders. So you don't actually have to go to your chart and do all that. So from here, you just quickly pick an order. So the orders you have. Okay. All right, so I'll slow down a little bit. Okay, so all right, so let me explain the depth of markets over again. I would try and be a bit slow. Okay, and also please remember what I said at the beginning. So we may get disconnected at some point of the meeting. So just quick, well, if we are to get disconnected, let's just reconnect with the same link that we used. Okay, so I said that the depth of market shows you the amount of the demand and supply, the nature of demand and supply for a particular currency or a particular pair, whatever it is you're trading. So what I'm saying here is this. Okay, so you're having Euro USD here as the pair we're looking at here. That's from what you can see here. So what the depth of market is doing now is showing you the amount of people buying or selling at either of these prices. So from what you can see here, you can see that we have the volume tab there, we have the price tab there, and we have the trade tab there. So the volume tab shows you the amount of people trading at that particular price. The price tab there, that's showing you the price that we're actually considering at the time. And then we have the trade. So the reason why you're seeing the prices may be shifting is because spreads increase and decrease, but then there's not much difference between the prices at either of the times. So let me draw. So I was explaining it. Okay, so the prices here we have at the top here are the bid prices, at the ask prices, sorry. And then the prices we have down here, these are the bid prices. So this space in between here is the spread. Now, this is not something that every trader uses. It's only traders that trade in volatile conditions and are wanting to get into the market very, very fast. They actually utilize this space. So most times it's traders that trade. Most times is equity traders and traders that trade very high volatile instruments, like say some not stocks actually, but then say indices, maybe Nasdaq or the Dow Jones, that utilizes very, very well because of the volatility they may be experiencing in those pairs. So this shows you the volume. Now we can see that the volume is very high at this point, and then volume also is a bit high at this point. So this is showing you that okay, a lot of traders are trading at those prices. So now if those prices are having very high if those prices are having very high demand, then it means that okay, as a trader, you'll be prompted to take an action based on the demand or the supply at those points. Now, at this point, you may decide, you may notice that the demand or the supply at this zone is higher than um, the the volume at this point. So you may be taking a trade based on this, or if the volume at this point seems much higher than the volume at this point, you may be taking a trade based on this. So the trade, there's these tabs we have here, they're for taking pending orders. So you don't actually take this, you don't take orders instantly with the depth of the market. Although you can actually take your orders instantly using these buttons down here. But then here we just use, this is just for penny orders. So you have your buy stop, you have your buy stop buy limits, like we explained. You have your buy stop buy limits, your sell stop sell limits. So this here button is for the sell limit. Then the next buttons you have here is for the buy limit. So you notice that the moment I click on either of, assuming the moment I click on this, it takes an order for me immediately. Okay, so let me show you the trade tab here. So the moment I click on this, it takes the order immediately and it takes a sell limit. So it doesn't instantly execute the order. So this is because prices are moving very fast. So you want to be in and out very, you want to get in very fast. So you don't have time to be going through this and be and kind of be checking what price you are and where you want to trade. So it just gives you a very fast means of getting in. And then you have the buy stop by the other side. So the moment you are to take a trade, it takes the buy stop order for you. So it's a pending order. So this is just based on pending orders. So the same thing for the other end. So you have your stop loss here, you have your price, that's the volume you're trading, and you have your take profits at this point. So the stop loss now is by the way, your stop loss generally is counted in points on the MetaTrader. Okay, I should explain. Okay, let me quickly. So the stop loss is counted in points on your MetaTrader platform. So it means you'll be using numbers like 200 to denote 20 pips, using number like 300 to denote 30 pips. Remember we said earlier that, or in previous courses, that the point is 1/10 of the pip. So 300. So if you want to, assuming you want to use a stop loss of 20 pips, it means you're using a stop loss of 200 points. Okay, so explaining the buy limit and sell limit again. So for those of us that were not here when I explained that, so the buy limit and the sell limit, the buy limit and the sell limit, they're pending orders. So assuming you don't want to take a trade, so they're used when you don't want to take a trade instantly. So it's like it's kind of telling your brokers that okay, you want to take a trade at a particular price. So you don't take it right now. So you want to actually wait for certain conditions to actually be met before the broker should take that trade for you. So let me use an example here rather than using the depth of the market. Okay, so let me clear the chat here. Okay, so if you didn't understand the depth of the market, just let me know. So let me quickly explain the pending orders. So now assuming we have this chart here. Okay, let me go to the lower time frame. Okay, so now assuming you want to take a trade, sorry, assuming you want to take a trade at this point, let me draw the line here. So assuming you want to take a trade at this point, okay. Now, assuming you want to take a sell. If market was to get to this point, you want to take a sell. Now, you may not be here when the market actually gets to this point. There's this red line that I've drawn here. So you want to instruct the broker that okay, when price gets to this point, you want the broker to automatically sell sell at that price. So that's why you use your pending orders. So you as if you either want this broker to sell or buy at that price. So you have pending orders for either of them. So now I want the broker to sell at this point. So I'll use a sell limit. So there's different there's what we call the sell limits, the buy limits, the sell stop, and the buy stop. So you can actually check that on the you could read it on the you could read the differences on the PDFs on the previous lessons. So now I want the broker to place a sell for me at this. So I'll use a sell. I'll use a sell limit. So now what I just do is okay. I've put this line here, and then I can see the price here is 1.18241. Now this is where the depth of the market is important, because at this point now I have to come here and actually check what price is at this point. So now the price here is 1.18241. So I want to set a sell limit there. So on my trading terminal here on the PC, I would right click and then I would come to new order. Now you're seeing sell limits, buy stop here. So it's because I right clicked on this price here. So if I right click on this price here, it's take the sell limits at this price. If I click here, it's take the sell limit at that price. So now I want to set my price by myself. So I just come to trading and then I come to new order. So now when you come to new order, you get the options. So now you see the symbol you're trading, and then you see your execution type. So now you see your market execution, or you see a pending order. So the market execution instantly takes the trade at that particular time. Yeah. And then your pending order is giving the broker conditions on what exactly to do or what to wait for before taking the trade. So now we're going to use the pending order. So now you now see the pending orders you have here. You have your buy limit, sell limit, buy stop, sell stop, buy stop limit, and sell stop limits. I'll explain the buy stop limit and the sell stop limit. So now you want to use the sell limit. So I will select the sell limit there, and then I will select the volume I want to use. So assuming I want to use 0.01. So this is the lot size. If you're not still clear on the lot size, you could actually check. You could also check on the previous lesson. So I'll select the lot size, and then I'll have to put the price at which I want the broker to sell that. So the price here we have is 1.18241. Yeah. So now after I put the price, now I would have to put a stop loss. Now I didn't calculate the stop loss, but I'll assume that okay, since it's a sell, so I'll assume my stop loss is somewhere high here. So let's just assume 1.18315. You may not, you don't always have to put the stop loss immediately if you're not sure. So you can set the order and then modify it later. So 1.18315. And then for your take profits, let's put a random value down here, say 1.18165. So 1.18165. Okay, so now you would select the expiration date. So this is good to cancel. So what this means is that this pending order will remain active until you cancel the order. So if you don't want it that way, you could actually select a specified date or specified time you want it to close if the order is not filled. So if, for instance, you want it to close, you want the broker to automatically delete the order if it's not filled within a day, you could select it there. If you want the broker to delete the order if it's not filled within an hour, you could select it there. So now if I select today, so by the end of the day, the trading day today, the broker will delete the order as if I'm not there to delete it myself. Or you want to specify a day and a time. So you would come here and you select the day and the time you want the order to be deleted automatically for you. So after that, you just place the order. So after placing the order, now you see that you have a sell limit at this location. What this means is that if price now was to push up to this position, then the broker is going to place a sell automatically. So you don't have to be online at that time. So you could be wherever, and then broker would place it for you. So your computer doesn't have to be connected. You don't have to be online or anything. So that is the sell limit. So for the sell stop now would be below the current price. Now the reason why we use the sell limit now is because we want the sell above the current price. But then if you want the sell below the current price, we use a sell stop. Then for the buy stop too, For a buy stop, you use a buy stop when you want to buy above the current price, and use a buy limit when you want to buy below the current price. So I'm hoping that clears that for the pending orders. So one thing to also check. Okay, so one thing to also check is this.
Yeah, right.
When you are placing your trades, you should always ensure that you're connected before you actually go ahead to place your trade, because all right. So coming down here, if you can see my where I have my cursor here down here. So yeah, so this is where you'd actually ensure that your terminal is connected. When it's not connected, you would actually see it as it show it's disconnected from there. So if assuming a certain server is not working properly, you could actually change your servers there. So the servers are like say, let me say, computers that are at several different locations to ensure that at each time you are actually having the best. So if a server is not working well, you could actually change your server. So depending on your location, there are certain servers that may not be very fast for you. For instance, now I can see I have 4 bars on this server. I see I have 3 bars on this server, and I have 1 bar on this server. So if I'm on this last server here, I may not get a fast execution as I would want to. So I may want to change my server. So you always have to check here to ensure that your servers are you're on the best server. So before you actually place your trade, so you don't want your trades to be stuck. So there are times you actually place your trade and there's a delay in the server, so you actually get the trade filled at a later price, which is something you actually don't want. So now you can see that the server keeps disconnecting and connecting here. So that's something to actually check. So I was also going to explain, okay. So I was explaining the expert advisors. Yeah, so the expert advisors are just the robots, basically. Okay, so I'll show you how to customize your chart here, because I don't like the dark look of this chart now, and I want to customize the chart. So what you do is just you right click and then you go down to properties. This is where you customize how your chart. So you want your
Yeah,
chart to look, you want your chart to look the way you want it to look. And the dark background and everything is not actually, doesn't, for me, it doesn't actually show me, or is not conducive. So I want to change the way it looks. So now you could be able to change it to a bar chart if you prefer, or a candle chart and or a line chart. But then the candlestick chart is what I'll go with. So most of this here, you don't have to bother about them. So you come here to show, and then this is where you select what exactly you want to see on your chart. So you may want to see, and you see that you see only one line here, which is the bid price. So now you actually want to see both the bid and the ask price line. So you'd actually select the both of them. So you'd actually be seeing the preview here. So the last price, this is almost as like bid price, so you don't actually need this. So the period separators, now this separates, this is the dividers that you see on your chart. So this is what you're seeing on your chart here. So you don't actually need them. And the grids, now is not so important. So I often time don't like trading with the grids, so I'll just turn this off. Those are the lines you see there. Then you want to see the tick volumes. So now what you see down here, this is this basically just shows you how active particular candle is. So it's not necessary, so you may not always have it there. So yeah, so okay. And then if you want to show your trade levels, so what this is assuming you were to take a buy now, if this was turned off, you would not actually see on your chart where exactly you took that buy. So you would actually want to see that. So you have that turned on. Then trade history. Now you see these arrows. You see these arrows I have here. So this is what we call the trade history. So it shows you your previous trade. That's exactly. It shows you where you bought and where you sold. So that's what you're having here. So you may not want to see it. So I'll just take that out. So then you come to colors. This will change the colors of your background, just basically. So there are some default settings here. You could have your yellow and black, your black and white, or your something like this. So this is the ideal look for the charts. You have your green bars going upwards, and then you have your red bars coming downwards. So you could have this, and then after you're done with this, you just select OK. So this changes the look of the charts for you. So it's the same thing on the MT4 platform as well. So it's not different here and different there. So it's the same thing you have on the MT4 platform. So now about the expert advisors. Okay, so you could also save your charts look, because there are times where you actually exit the application and then when you come back, it will have gone back to default. So you can save the this. So what you do is you right click and then you come to templates. So when you come to templates, then you come to save templates. So you can save it as whatever you want to save it as. So that's that. So about the expert advisors. So when you come to the markets, you could actually get free expert advisors or indicators. So I'll show you how you can get it from the markets and install them and use them if you actually want to trade with the expert advisors or the indicators. So let me use some of the default ones here. So if I come to the market here and I come to experts, so now I'll get to see mini expert advisors here. So what I can do here is whichever one, if you choose to buy any one of them, you could actually buy, but then you could actually get some free EAs. So I'll use EAs for short. So instead of saying expert advisors, so you could see a lot of expert advisors here. So now expert advisors actually place trades for you. So if you're actually going to trade with an expert advisor, you should be ready that you should know that it's actually going to place trades for you. So it's like a robot that does the trading for you. So so it means you have to be sure that it's actually going to be very good before you actually let it place those trades for you. So let's assume, okay, let's just click on this one. So this is saying the EA this gives you some say description about the expert advisors. You can see some reviews here and all that. So if you are okay with this, then you could just download. So now you'd have to log in. So you have to create an account with the MQL5 community, and then you have to log in. And after you log in and everything, you'll be able to download the expert advisor. So I don't have my login now, so I'll not log in. So after you log in, you would be able to download the expert advisor. So after you downloaded the expert advisor, it would appear in your expert advisor tab here. That's what I'm showing you here. So that's here, expert advisor here. It will appear here. So if you want to use it, you would have to come here and select the expert advisor. So let me do that. So I'll use one of the random expert advisors we have there. So let me close this tab. And then if I come here, okay, so now I'm seeing this expert. This is the default expert. So I'll just use it to show you how you use the expert advisors in your chat. So you just drag this and you place in your chats. So you just place in your chat and then you get the options, a lot of options, but most times you don't have to pick any of the options. So, and you click allow algo trading. So what this does is that this allows you, this tells the terminal that, okay, the robots are allowed to trade for you. So if this is not turned on, the expert advisor may be installed, but it will not be active. So you click on allow algo trading. It may be different on the MT4 terminal. So the MT4 terminal, you may see auto trader. Yeah, you may see auto trader or automatic trading, something like that. So you would have to select that. So you click OK. So now the expert advisor is active. The expert advisor is active on the chat now. So you won't actually say work until certain conditions are met based on the parameters that let's say owners have actually written for the code. So that's that about the expert advisor. Then for the indicators too, you could actually, okay, you could actually get expert advisors. Not, you mustn't get them from the terminal here. You can actually get them from, maybe you could buy them from other developers outside here and all of that. So it mustn't be on the terminal here. So for the indicators now, so indicators don't trade for you. They just show you something that you are not seeing. So the indicators are not actually trading for you. They're just showing you what's, say, whatever, maybe volume or trends or something, but then they're never going to place trades for you. So we have some default indicators here. So some of these indicators you may not see on your mobile terminal, but then you have some indicators here. So what you just do is, if you have an indicator, then you would just drag and drop on your charts again. So now if you have to tick any of the levels, whatever it is that you want to do, you just do and click OK. The indicators appear on your chart. So you can have as much indicators as you want on your charts. That's why you see some charts at times look very messy. So you could actually have as much indicators as you want on the chart. So you could install your custom indicators. So assuming you have custom indicators, maybe you've downloaded an indicator from wherever and you want installed on your terminal. So what you just do is you come to your file, then you open the data folder. So this is where you have, well, whatever data you have, this is where it is. So you just open your data folder and then you see, sorry, are you able to see this? So you open your data folder and, sorry, can you see the folder here? No. Okay, so you open your data folder and then you see these options. So you just come to MQL5 and then you see the folder for experts for, and you should see the indicators. Yeah, you see indicators there. So when you open this here, you just paste them or you drop them in this folder and then they should appear for you to be able to use on your trading terminal. So that is that on the indicators and the expert advisors. So if you have any questions on that too, you could just ask me quickly. Then I'll show you the strategy tester. I'm going to show you how to test your strategy or to test your indicators if you have any. So you want to be sure that, okay, a certain indicator is actually going to be very good and all of that. So you want to test that. So it's called a back test because you're not testing it, you're testing it based on past events and historical data. So it's going to, that's why we call it a back test, because you actually go back, say go back in time and see how it would have actually gone if you actually used it. So what you do is, okay, you come to your strategy tester. Most times it may not be, um, when you first install your trading terminal, it would not be here. So it would, this is how your terminal will actually appear. So you could come here and you select your strategy tester, or you right, I think you right click, okay. Okay. So you come to view and then you see your strategy tester here. So this way you could also enable it, or you could just go Control R. So you enable the strategy tester. So now you want to test an indicator. You want to test, no, we won't test an indicator, we want to test an, yeah, let's say we want to test an indicator. So on your strategy tester here, you just select the indicator you want to test. Yeah. And then you select the indicator. So based on whatever it is you want to actually test the indicator, you test it. You should also be able to test your experts here. There should be an option to test the experts coming. Sorry. Okay. So you should have an option here to also test the experts. So the experts here, the advisors are the robots we're talking about. So you just select what you want to test, and then you select the symbol you want to test it against. So you could test it against, these are different instruments. So let's say you want to test it against a forex pair. Say you want to use a major pair. and then maybe you want to use let's say you want to use GBP, JPY. So the dates now, this is from when, this is how far back you want to start the test from. So you'd come here and then you select maybe last year, last month. So let's just use last month. And then forward, this is how fast you want it to go. So let's just do it like this. So um, the delays, or you don't, oftentimes you don't have to do this, but then this is trying to simulate how bad, say, the network or the internet is throughout that period. So it's kind of delaying your orders from actually being taken. So instead of taking the orders instantly, maybe, you know, in real life situations, you may actually have a bad internet and all that. So to actually select that, then your modeling style, every tick or 1 minute, however way you want to do it. Then your deposit. So here you are assuming the deposit. That's how much you are going to be depositing. So based on assumption. So if you're not satisfied with 10,000, you could just make it $100 or something. So your leverage too, and then optimization. So this just shows, this is just how you're going to view it. So it doesn't affect the back test. And then you click on start. So when you click on start, it actually runs. So you may not see it run. On MT4, you have an option to watch it run. So I didn't see the option here. So I think it has finished. It has finished. So sorry. Then it's meant to give you a, it's meant to give you a, sorry, not doing this. So it's meant to give you, it's meant to publish a report, let's say. So it shows you how much profit you would have made within that period and so on. So if the indicator is not good, actually, you won't actually see it. It's not actually perform. So I think the issue here would be with the indicator, because after running the back test, it should give you a report. So you see how much profit it made within that period and how much losses it actually made within that period. So, sorry. Okay, so maybe within your free time, you could actually go through this and then see how it works. So I think the EAs are bad here. So there are a bunch of free expert advisors and indicators. So you could set the parameters however you want to. So if you have any questions, you could ask on this. Okay, so that said now, okay, so I would quickly go through the trends like I explained last during the last session. So I explained the trends, that's the uptrends and the downtrends, and I also went through the trend lines. So let me quickly explain that again because maybe a lot of people went around. Okay, so now I've installed these indicators here and I don't want them. So I'd just right click and I would come to indicator list. When you come to indicator list, you see the indicators you have active on your chart. So right now we have just the Bollinger Bands active. So I'm going to click on the Bollinger Bands and I will delete. But then if I wanted to modify the indicator, maybe change some settings, the colors and stuff like that, I'll just come to properties, but then I want it deleted. So I'll click on delete and it will delete. So explaining the trends again. So last week I said that the trends just show you how the market is moving generally. So it's not actually within a short period of time. So the trends actually span over a long period of time. So you could look at it on your 1 hour chart, and you could look at it on your 4 hour daily charts, 15 minute charts if you like. So that's something to look at. So okay, let me close this. Okay, so and also if you want to close the orders on the MetaTrader platform, there's just this X beside the orders, so you could just quickly close them. So there's a lot of advantages to trading with your laptops or your desktops compared to trading on mobile. So I'm going to explain the trends again. So now The trend basically is just how you are looking at the market. So, okay, in the next session too, I would go through these icons we have here so that you get familiar with them. So because of time, I'll just explain the trends and the route. So the trends is just how the market appears basically. So that's what it basically means. So it depends on it's just how you're seeing the market. Now, from what I can see here, I can see that the market is, I'll just say, is moving up. Although it has some down, say, we call them retracements. Although it has some retracements, that's the little downward movement you're seeing. But then generally, it's moving up. So that's why we call it an uptrend. So this is an uptrend generally, basically. So it's an uptrend. So now on the uptrends, we only consider the lows. So what I mean by the lows is that what I mean by that is the okay, sorry. What I mean by that is the points like this. That's the points that are after the market would have pushed down and gone up. So those are the lows we're talking about. So in an uptrend, we consider only the lows of the market. So lows are places like this. So that's what we consider. So the reason why we consider this is because when we are drawing our trend lines, we want to know exactly where the market is reacting to. So I explained the trend lines too. So I'll also explain it here. So what I mean by trend lines is, so this is the trend line. Okay. So now this is my, where my cursor is, this is my trend line option or the trend line object, sorry. So I will click this to draw my trend line, and then trend line is just an inclined line. So it's a straight line, but it's just an inclined line. So now this is my trend line. So now if you notice, the trend line starts from, well, this is the bottom of the trend. So it starts from here and it spans as long as, so this whole period is almost, okay, this was August. This was 20th August. Yes, and then this is 7th September. So this is about 3 weeks or so. So now this trend line, if we look at it, the trend lines, the market sits on the trend line. For the uptrend, the market sits on the trend line. That is why we consider just the lows of the market. So we actually don't care about what is happening above. We only care about the lows of the market. And then this is what we call the, and then we're looking for higher lows. So what it means is that this is the first low, but then this low is actually higher than the previous one. That is why we call it a higher low. Now this low is not higher than this first one, so we call it a lower low. But then this low is higher than this one, so we call it a higher low, and then we call it a higher low, and so on. So for the trend, we're looking for higher lows. So we don't want situations where, well, we prefer higher lows. At times you may actually say it's, no, you can't actually see lower lows in a good, on your good trend line. So you're always looking to draw your trend on the higher lows. So now, I also said last week that a good trend line must be retested at least 3 times. So what the retest is the attempt for the market to come back to where your trend is. For instance, now the market pushes this way, and then it attempts to come back here, but then is not able to. So the retest, now we're talking of the retest of your trend line. So it means the attempt of the market to actually come back to your trend line. So now the market has tried to retest, has attempted to retest, but is not able to. It still pushes higher, and then it still attempts to retest the trend line, but it's not able to get to the trend line. Still pushes higher, and then it finally gets to the trend line. So this is a complete retest. So this is the first retest on our trend line. Now it pushes higher again, and then it still comes back to the trend line. And this is the second retest on our trend line. And then it still pushes higher, and then it came back to the trend line again. So this is another retest on our trend line. And then it still pushes higher, and then it still comes back. So this is another retest on our trend line. So now, like I said last week, for your trend line to be considered as a very strong one, it must be tested at least 3 times. So now it means at this point, after this retest, we will begin to consider this trend line as a very strong one. So it means that the next time we notice price coming towards the trend line, we would expect something to happen. So the market is always going to react to the trend line. And then whenever it reacts to the trend line, it reacts in 2 ways. Either it breaks through the trend line or it fails to break, and then the trend line pushes the market back. So that is the reason why we want at least 3 retests. So this is the first retest here. We have the second retest here, and then we have the third retest here. So at this point now, moving forward, we would be looking to we'll be considering what would happen whenever the market comes back. So when we see the market coming back here, this is where we call it as we look at it as our point of interest. So when the market comes back here, we'll be thinking of how would the market react to this particular position. So that is why we wait for it. So now this trend line is considered a strong trend line because it has actually been tested previously at least 3 times. So for a trend line to be strong, it must have been tested at least 3 times. So that is for the uptrend. Now we see that. So the same thing for the downtrend. So your downtrend may also look. Sorry, let me clear this. So your downtrend may also be for the downtrend, you only consider the highs. So for the downtrend, you only consider the highs. So this is a typical downtrend here. So you only consider the highs of the downtrend. So you could have something like this. So this portion here is the downtrend. So we will consider the highs. So what I mean by the highs is, so we have the first, so this could be our first high, but we're not using it. So we have the first high somewhere here. We have a lower high. 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 So we see that this trend line has been tested a number of times. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retests, or even 6 retests before the 7th one here and here again. So this is a very strong trend line. So the use of a trend line is to show you the points of interest. So it's going to show you where the market is going to react to most likely at any given time. So after a trend line has been confirmed strong, whenever your price is actually getting to the trend line, that is the location where you're actually going to consider and wonder, okay, when the market is getting there, you're going to begin to wonder what is going to happen when price gets here. So after that, you look for other means of confirmation, which is something we're going to go through later on too in course. So we also talked about the consolidating or the ranging market. So that's a market that is not in a trend. Now I'm looking for one. So let me just use this as an example. So this may be an example of a consolidating market. So yeah, not necessarily, but then let's just, so this could be a ranging market. So let me just draw a rectangle. So I oftentimes prefer to use rectangles to draw my to draw the range. Okay, so this is my range here. So the range is just a market that is not trading in any trend. So it's just a sideways. It's called a sideways market. So you notice it's just moving sideways. It doesn't really take any direction in the market. So all of these are very important in trading because whenever price gets to maybe the high of your range, whenever price gets to the high of your range, say somewhere here, there's always going to be a reaction. When it comes somewhere here, there's always going to be a reaction. Price will always react to these regions. So these are very important regions. So that's why you need to draw on your charts because you can't always assume if you've seen an uptrend, well, yeah, it's going to be an uptrend, but then you draw your trend line to know where exactly on your uptrend price is going to react to. It's always very important to draw on your line on your charts. So whatever you notice on your charts, you actually have to draw so that you would actually get a better representation of what you're seeing. So I think that is going to be it for today. So for our next session, I'm going to go through most of the tools we have here. So and then I would talk about some of the indicators and yeah. So we're going to be looking at charts more often so that you actually get used to looking at it so that it doesn't look so complicated after some time. So if you have any questions regarding what we've done, you could just ask a question in the um in the chat, and then we are sorry for the break in the meeting By our next session, we would have corrected the issue, so we won't have that, because I think that's a distraction. So sorry for that. So the recordings will be on our academy website. So let me quickly show you how to get them again for those who were not here last. So yes, my chat. Okay, so to get the recordings, so you just come to your browser. Our academy's website is mongovexfx.academy. So you search and okay. So now you come to courses. After you would have logged in, or okay, you wouldn't have logged in yet, but then to access the courses, you have to have registered and enrolled in any of the courses. So this is the course here. This is the course here. So you just click on the course. That's this one, the trading workshops. If you want to, you may want to go through a different course too. And this course is not free, but then if you choose to, it's actually good. It's a very good course as well. So you should do well to actually enroll in, because it just goes for 600 $600. Yeah, that's the price for that course. But then this one is absolutely free. So you just click on see more. So when you do, you would, if this is your first time on the course, you have an option here to enroll or log in. So you do that, and then you would be able to access the courses. So just click on the courses, and then they should appear for you. So you get the videos there, and then you will also get the an option to download the PDFs if the videos are not clear enough. So I believe that's clear. So is there any other question? So that would round up.
Yes, what had happened was when I tried initially, there was a situation about the broker and I never went back. So you're saying this is available to everyone, even if you don't have Vantage FX?
What do you mean? You mean the trading terminal?
Okay, to get to this area, everyone can access this?
Okay, you mean this on our website?
Yes.
Okay, no, this is accessible to everybody. So you don't have, there's absolutely there are no requirements. You just have to be registered on the website. So it's not linked to any of the brokers. So you just get here and then you register, and you'll be able to
Okay, I'll
enroll
try
for the,
again. Okay, thank you so much.
yeah. Okay, so if there are no other questions or contributions, then you guys should keep an eye on your inbox as well. Will be sending a lot of items. So, and then yeah, so I would upload the recordings for this particular class. And so the absence of any other thing, so I guess we would call it a day here. And thank you guys
Thank you
for
so much.
joining us today, and we'll see you guys on Saturday. So thank you very much, and have a blessed day.